Hey, how's it going? I want you to look at my signs before I start talking, please. But I did. Oh, sorry about that. I never want anyone to look up my nose. Just this weird tick I have, and I also don't want to look up anybody else's either. Hi, I'm over here. I'm over here. Never mind. Okay, so I pulled two cards that I am going to read for you. The first one I pulled from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. Get that light reflection off of there or whatever's happening. Well, I've noticed when I watch the playback, the stuff that I see making reflections and all of that I feel like is making it hard to see what I'm trying to show you doesn't show up. So not gonna worry about it too hard. Anyway, the card that I pulled was closing door number 5. And 5, I can just tell you off the top of my head, you can associate with change. I may go deeper into that. It depends on how this goes. Let's just see. Before I start doing that, let me show you. I did pull 2 cards, and the second card I pulled was from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And I pulled the Tiger, the Fire Energy card. Okay, so closing door. Well, as you can see, the door is closing on, it looks like opposite backdraft. Like, it looks like there's a fire on the other side of that door, and I guess it's good we're closing it and getting away with our tail ends charge. Like, what is up with that? See, when I first pulled it, the association I made was, well, a lot of them actually. The year's winding to a close. The season is changing into the one where the first hibernating animal that comes to mind is always a bear. So, and I feel that bear energy where, it's getting colder. You have to put on more clothes. You're more reluctant to go out if you're me. It gets dark earlier, especially because of daylight savings time. I was just writing a comment to someone before I started doing this about how if you leave the house at 3:30 to go a block and a half away and you're inside the store for 15 minutes and you come out, you better have your little lights charged on your little bicycle, because otherwise you're invisible to traffic. Because just where I am on the main roads, there are lights, of course, but overhead street lights. But if you go onto the side streets, there are not only no sidewalks where I live, there are lights, but it's not like the road that my address is on. You don't need anything more specific than that, except to know that if you leave the house at 3:30 and you come home at 4:15 and it's just dark already. It's not quite dark, but it's getting there. It's darker. You can definitely tell the sun is heading below the horizon. And that's fine. It doesn't do anything to me. I don't have a car, so I don't have to drive in I used to have cars, but not for a long time, so I don't have to drive in any of that long, slanting, eye-piercing light, of sun going down or coming up. Why am I talking about that? I don't know. But so yeah, the season is it's like coming to a close, closing the door on the year, and for some reason the end has to be cold. There's also talking U.S. elections, the elections coming up in January, which will be full winter by then, but leading up to that, the door is closing on who's going to be nominated and who's going to be primaried, and yeah, it's all this stuff. And if I seem like I'm disgusted or disinterested, you would be correct in making that assumption. I mean, I am interested, just in a fascinated car wreck kind of a way. I'm not watching it because there's some politician out there that like sparks my interest and makes me think good of them. I mean, we have elected officials that I do feel good about. It doesn't seem like they really get to do anything, and if they speak up, they always get in trouble. Can you tell which politicians I like? They're like way on the left, and they're the radicals, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm tired of hearing that. What the people on the left are, whether they're Democrats or not, you basically end up having to vote for Democrats because that's the choice you have. Democrats or the alternative. So you can be like me, who left the church-going part of Catholicism and left the party holder. Although that was like a complete fabrication. I never had like a Democrat party member card. I never paid a due. I just agreed to say I am a Democrat. Like I signed a thing somewhere or at the DMV in the state where I live now, but that's all it amounts to. Like I didn't give a blood oath to these people or anything, and I'm not obligated to like or vote for them. Unfortunately, your choices are limited when you got the Democrats and the alternatives. So, and as far as the Democrats are concerned, like the president is pretty much a lock. I just don't see anyone like dethroning Trump on the right, and I don't see anyone better who would want to dethrone him. Although Nikki Haley, I don't think she's going to go anywhere, but she actually, I think I like her better than Chris Christie. But Chris Christie has some positives too, only in the sense that he's like anti-Trump. And by that I mean he's up Trump's bum and calling him out left and right and taking him to task and doing something he should have been doing like 8 years ago now, almost 8 years ago, and revealing this guy for who he is, because Chris Christie is always saying we've known each other forever. What, are you bragging? So you've known that this guy was a shit forever and you said and did nothing? You took up with him? That party membership, like what you'll do for that crap. Not me. So anyway, yeah, I'm not like making any kind of obligations like that for myself ever if I can avoid it. So there's just a lot going on. There's like unrest amongst like inner party unrest, inter-party unrest, voter unrest. The stuff that I saw before I started doing this, like Arkansas, I believe, is where Sarah Huckabee Sanders is the governor, and well, she's just like, I'm not waiting to switch over to fascism. I'm just gonna start now. I don't know, Google her. All I can say is, I look at her, and then I look at her dad, because this video was comparing their voter approval ratings at about the same time, and she's about a point above or below what her father, whatever his highest was, she's a point above or below, I can't remember which, but just right nestled in with him. And I'm looking at her, and I've always looked at her face and thought, man, there's like a lot of anger there. Like, I don't know what she's so pissed off about, but she just looks really angry. And then I look at her father, and he can get that same expression, and they look so much alike. I've actually wondered if it makes her husband feel weird when they're like standing next to each other, how much they look alike. So yeah, her approval rating's not good, but sometimes it seems like in the South, that's almost like a badge of honor for both the politician and the voter, because sounds like it happens a lot. And she doesn't have, as the leader of her state, she's like kind of following a tradition where, for some reason, the priority of the people's welfare is the lowest priority there. Like, education is bad, healthcare is bad. If you don't have money, pretty much everything is like not great. And the look on her face, like it's like hatred, anger, and it makes me think that, especially when you hear her questioned about like the lectern or whatever else, she's so defensive and so like pissed off that you would dare question her. And it's like, lady, you're not doing stuff the way it's supposed to be done. Of course people are gonna question you. And boy, then her face, check out her face when she starts getting mad. All I'm saying is that she looks angry and she looks hateful. I'm not saying anything more than that, except that I wouldn't want somebody that has that bad of a temper running things. Like Chris Christie, same way. He's got a really bad temper, and that, like, it doesn't improve the judgment, no matter how much either of those two might think it does. For this onlooker, it just seems like retaliatory turns into, and Huckabee's almost like that anyway. It seems like the regard she has for her constituents, the whole state, doesn't seem great. It seems like the voters, probably the low education ones, are like an ATM for her and disposable worker bodies. Some of the things that come out of people's mouths really blow my mind. Like that Mike Jones, new Speaker of the House guy, he's another one of those people that is just like, other people are units to be purposed for stuff. And like slavery, don't bother like making any attachments to your family. We'll split you up to make you go work somewhere, because that's what you're good for. And it's like, who put you in charge of anybody but your family? Like, what? I don't like that. I would really want to see the door close on that. Fortunately, I think it will, because here's the other thing. People are so afraid that Trump's going to get reelected, and when he did the first time, I was like, I don't believe this shit. They're going to elect this guy. And I felt like nobody really had done like a deep background search on him. And then I think that turned out to be kind of true, where like midway through his term, people are like, oh my God, this guy's so horrible. Back in blah, 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 he did this, and his father. And it's like, man, why didn't you search this crap before you elected him? I just remember, anyway. So, like, all of the stuff that happens, though, it's kind of like we all collectively put it in motion. So, how do we react? How do we behave in the face of all this? Because we will have, personally, our own stuff, too. Like, I got a temper, too. Trying to work on it. Like, I felt like a pretty decent breakthrough when I was finishing off publishing the last video I made. I was all patting myself on the back for not taking advantage of an opportunity to get stupid angry. And then the very next day, this morning, I get presented with a new set of go ahead, try not to get mad. I lost. Lost the battle, but I'm gonna win the war. I have a caregiver that's been with me now for 5 years, and we were talking about my temper, and she was saying, because she's been witness to like the situation that's caused the intermittent internet situation that I've had ongoing for a while now, and she knows exactly what the causes were, and in a lot of ways she's more angry than I am about it, but she's just all on her own. I did not ask her a question about it. She said, I have to say, when I first started working for you and I saw your temper, I was like, I don't know what I got myself into. I don't know if I want to work with this person. And I was like, what can I say? It's just the truth, because I remember she came along in the middle of some storm I was having, and she's still here, so obviously it didn't turn out to be like that bad of a thing, thankfully. So I mean, I was thinking, like, I feel like I've gotten a lot better, but I also feel like lately I've been getting more frustrated and angry more often and more easily than like ever. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? But I think it's a result of this closing door happening, because, you know, being empathetic, like, no, I'm not just feeling my stuff. I'm like feeling stuff that I go looking for, and stuff just comes along, and there's just like ambient feelings around. Some people can put out some really strong vibes. Like, you can laugh about it all you want, but I think we all know it's true. You may call it something else, but you have experienced the phenomena of people with super powerful energy, you know? People that you know you want to avoid. Those are the people I'm talking about. So something might have happened, some events might have led up to things that would make you think away or one way or the other, but nevertheless, embedded in all that is the feeling that either you want to be around that person and strangle them, or you don't want to be around them at all. That is a vibrational thing. So maybe that's what all the flame is, what all the conflagration is about, is there's a lot of fiery emotions happening, and it doesn't seem like we're closing the door on stuff that got like resolved, but maybe there's still people unresolved on the other side of that door, which is weird when I try to sort of liken it to a seasonal type situation, because, well, I guess analogies just aren't perfect. But, so did I mention the subtitle is completion? Well, I guess that depends on who's finishing their exams, I guess. I'm going to quick read from the guidebook just to see what they're talking about. So, closed door, endings, completion, your greater calling. Well, that suggests to me like graduating from something and moving on to your greater calling. When the closing door shows up, it's a call to recognize an ending, to terminate a relationship, job, task, or situation that has been dragging on far too long. Unlock the cage you've been trapped in and shut the door behind you. This is not the time to worry about what others might think or feel. Instead, break with routine, consider what you think and how you feel, and be true to your heart's calling. It's time to walk out the door. If you do not see a door but only a solid wall in front of you, ask for assistance. Muster the courage to say no more. Remember as well that no one else needs to be wrong in order for you to do what you've known you needed to do for a long time. In other words, don't be blaming other people for what you haven't gone and done yourself. It's not their job to you. You have to you. I mean, ultimately, that's what does it. Like, seriously, like, what other people think is not gonna, like, get out the door and pay your bills, is what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't have that level of importance. Don't give it to it, is what I would suggest, if asked. If the door, and I need someone to tell me that too, like, don't give into it, because I do. There's no one here to help me not do it often. Like, I have to rely on myself, and sometimes I'm not that reliable. You live and you learn. If a door to a project or relationship has been closed to you, stop knocking on it. You've tried that already and no one answered. That sounds like that wall again. You know, if you move down along a wall, you might find a doorway, an opening. Crunch, crunch, he's eating lobster treats. He being the kitty. And no one answered, at least not in the way you would have liked. Take this as a gift. Difficult and painful as it might be, move on. Oh, at least it doesn't say just move on. Like it's all easy to cut your moors and just move on. What if you're mired into the muck in the canal? Like, you know, moving on might be a process. Just saying. Anyway. Every door that shuts is an invitation to find another way, another path to your destination. Well, yeah, an alternate route could be good if you're stuck in the mud. And you do have that open to you, presumably. Every door that shuts is an invitation to find another way, another path to your destination. Better to recognize this earlier rather than later. Yeah. How many of us leave a relationship or job after years we knew it was time to move on? When I know it's time to move on, I don't wait years. I mean, if it's that bad, I will move on before I find something else. But I never liked doing that. It's a little too jittery. Anyway, just neither here nor there. Stop wallowing in the pain and lingering on the reasons why things did not work. It is keeping you from your greater calling. I would say, like, it could keep you from, like, anything else, too. So I guess it doesn't change anything what I just said. Anyway, bow deeply before that closed door and give thanks to the lessons and set yourself free. Well, that's one thing shutting the door will do, is will sever relations, so to speak. It's going to put a wall between you and that other stuff, a door. So the tiger. Obvious, but when I pulled it, I heard fierce. But what I felt like it pertained to was a lot of what I was just talking about. Like, in the face of all of those other sort of daunting ideas and sort of just regular life stuff that you have to go through, you know, dealing with people and differing opinions, and, you know, you end up making a lot of choices about relationships and what you want to do with yourself in relation to your goals, and how life and people may or may not impede or help that. You know, I just feel like for myself, there was like a lot coming at me. There always is, but it seems like once you, like I talked about with the anger thing, like once you master one, you know, section of whatever it is you're trying to achieve, it seems like it's just happening so much faster now, along with just time happening faster. But it's like whatever's guiding you along in the process will be like, oh, well, you pulled that off pretty good. Here, let me give you something double harder. And you're just like, but I didn't catch my breath yet. Oh, shoot, here it comes. Can't waste time talking. Gotta deal with things. And you gotta hang on fiercely with your toenails, with your claws, and stay grounded while all of this stuff is happening. Like, there's like waves of fire trying to come out in and torch you. Look, it's right on the kitty's tail back there. Like, But Kitty's just moseying along, like completely undisturbed because, I don't know, big cats have the built-in fears. They don't have to like positive affirmation themselves. They just are it. They live it and be it. And maybe that's what we need to do sometimes. Like, you gotta do like the groundwork. You gotta do the meditation and build upon the skills that you have and get strong and build a tolerance to whatever comes at you. But it's not like it doesn't affect even this, cold as ice looking cat. And even they have, for them, commensurate issues that they have to worry about. And a lot of times it involves us bipedals infringing on their habitat and blah, blah, blah. But they got, like, interactions, like inter-tiger relations that, I mean, there's orders of authority in their groups, in their prides. Wait, that's lions. Well, whatever you call a group, a family of tigers, a collection, whatever, however they conglomerate that of tigers. But they'll have intrigues and things and disagreements within their groups and tussling for social orders, just like we do. It's like that fractal thing again. They don't do it in quite the same way that we do it, but there's so many similarities. Like humans have a head, we have arms and legs. Also cats, we don't have the tails, but we used to, evidently. Something I saw Science-y said that once. Excuse me. They even got like 5 toes. They're not distributed the same way ours are, but we don't have paws because we don't do tiger stuff. We do human stuff. But there are enough similarities for you to go, this is different, but it's not that alien. And by the way, along that line of thinking, other people are different, but not really alien. They have different stuff going on with their bodies that you don't understand or agree with because you don't have it in your body, perhaps. But it's silly for you to say, I don't have it, I don't feel that way, so you shouldn't. It's like, what? Tell a tiger not to be a tiger because it's not human enough? Close the door on that nonsense and pay attention to your own stuff. Quit worrying so much about other people and being all weird and going out in public and saying the stuff that scares you and freaks you out that you think is like destroying society. Who's out there screaming and yelling about it? You, ding-a-ling. You are the problem. You are the problem you are creating. Sorry, rant over. In light of all that, I thought about changing my sign, my whiteboard back there. And I almost never want to take this down because I feel like it's something we could benefit from remembering every day, which is to laugh and not take ourselves so seriously and not take all the situations so seriously. I mean, come on, there is such a thing as gallows humor. It doesn't have to be that death has to be involved in, like, finding a way to laugh about something tragic and or horrible or sad or, whatever it is. But, you can't live on a diet of that alone. It's just not good for your mental state, and laughing is. Laughing is good. If you can find a way even to laugh about the most horrible thing that's happening to you, then I would say that you are a wealthy person because you possess the ability to, with your own alchemy, make gold for yourself. Because that corny saying, laughter's the best medicine, is so true. Like, my beloved Arcturians will say, smile, even if you don't feel like smiling. Others will too, but I love them, so I'm going to quote them. And also, like, smile if you don't even feel like smiling, when you feel bad, like reverse that course or avert that course. You have the ability to do that. That's like like controlling the energy. That's you, like having your hands on the levers of the controlling of the energy. We do have that ability. It's ours. It's our power. Let's use it. We can. So, I say all that because even though I'm not going to be doing it myself this year, a lot of people will be getting together tomorrow for people getting together with family and friends day. That's what I'll call it, to just detour around any of the historical potential conversation pitfalls. I'm just going to detour right around that and call it getting together with your close family, friends, and close whatever people. Get together with your whatever people. I would like to. I just, this year I just didn't have the invite opportunity. Whatever you want to say, it's fine. But I would keep in mind the laughing thing, because like really break the tension. I wasn't even thinking about Thanksgiving when I put that up there. I put it up there like a week now, a little over a week. I was not thinking of Thanksgiving. I didn't even realize it was going to be tomorrow. I was thinking it was in another week. I don't have all the stuff. I don't need all the stuff, but I don't know, I'm saying it snuck up on me. So, I mean, it's a holiday. My God, give everybody, give each other a break. Like, let's not make it hard on ourselves if we can possibly avoid it. I'm not saying, like, what to say and not to say in your conversations at home. I'm just saying, if you have an opportunity to laugh at something, go ahead. Like, it'll break the tension. And just a couple of final things is I saw, like, on The View today, they were talking about what kind of conversations to have at your Thanksgiving gatherings with your family and your friends, and mainly the political arguments is what they were talking about. Of course, families could have all kinds of other arguments that have nothing to do with, like, national politics or politics at all. You just be family politics, and that can sometimes be really convoluted and kind of messed up. But you never know. Like Whoopi said, I don't think like she's the queen of everything, but she just happened to be the one to say it, and I agree. If you can have the holiday with the people, even if you know there's someone there that's you're gonna grate against each other probably, is that any reason to not go and spend time with everybody else? Are you just barfing on my sweater? Anyway, so Whoopi was saying, yes, take advantage of the opportunity, because you don't know when the last holiday you could have together with whomever will be. And I think there's some sense in that, because I don't know, luckily I was fortunate enough to have someone tell me when I was pretty young not to be like so angry with a relative because they might not be around forever. And I kind of got it, but I didn't until that relative did die. But on that one occasion I did take their advice, and it's something I've come across over the years. Like, I was talking about that band Twisted Roots last video, 2 videos ago, friends of mine from Los Angeles. Like, one of them is now in the Foo Fighters. They're amazing people, musicians, and they have a song, or had a song. They haven't been together for a long time, but they had a song called Love Your Friends While They're Here. And the title tells you everything you need to know as far as what I've just been talking about. And so, on The View, though, the person talking became Joy Behar, who is not afraid of an argument, and she was a teacher, and she's over 80, but she's still sharp as a tack, and she still teaches, and she learns too. Like, on the fly, you can actually see her doing it on The View or whatever she's on, because she just is open. And so I've been watching it on my phone, because I don't have internet right now to watch it on my television, and so it's, you know, split up into segments. So I came to this one segment in the feed, and it was like how to talk to people on Thanksgiving, and I had a picture of Joy, and my first thought was, I bet she's gonna say, don't not talk about stuff, do talk about stuff, have the arguments. And sure enough, that's what she said. But it wasn't about having the arguments, it was about, that is the time and place for all of us that have gotten together, this is her opinion, to go ahead and discuss those things and get those matters out in the open. And even if you do have to, like, somewhat argue, it doesn't have to be like the case of one of the other hosts, Sunny Austin, where some family member got kicked out of another family member's holiday get together. Where'd he go? Oh, I can't look for him right now. I'm in the middle of something. I hope he's not just, well, anyway. And then I just want to close with one thing about, like, the politicians. And I did kind of touch on it, and then I almost stopped, but I didn't, because I knew how easily I get sidetracked, and I don't want to forget. I was watching The Daily Show, which I just started watching recently again. Never mind why right now. But I decided to watch it, and they were interviewing this politician, and the reason why I clicked on it was because the title card said something about he would have popular videos on TikTok, and I was like, what? So I clicked on that video, and it was Desi Lydic and Jordan Klepper co-hosting, because they don't have, like, a regular host right now over there. And the politician, shoot, I don't remember his name. I'll have to link that in the information box. Wing, TikTok, Paul. Ooh, I can't read that. Okay, so what he does, I guess, is explain, like, the procedures and some of the, I guess, ins and outs of, like, the legislative process. And he's a truth teller, and I think that I don't know what party he was in. I'm thinking he was a Democrat, because The Daily Show is a pretty lefty show. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'll be able to locate that information, because I've noticed a lot of times doesn't matter which party, they're just trying not to tell you what party they're in anymore, and I don't like that. Like, why? What is that good for? Who does that benefit? It just makes me have to go search down information and look into them more deeply than I care to. Precious time I don't want to waste, but I want to know, like, why are you not telling people your party? That is, why are you hiding that? I don't like that. Anyway, he, shoot, maybe I'll link that video too, then I don't have to explain anything, but he said stuff that sounded good. How's that? He just kind of, well, okay, he, like, said out loud what many people have said, and what many people think is that the politician's behavior right now is completely theatric, and he didn't say exactly why and for who, but I have my own ideas about that. But what he said that was impressive to me was that you could, like, he knew it was, like, totally fake, but he was there to out people, and he said that the difference between people when you're just working and talking to them normally and there's no cameras around, and the difference between when the person they turn into when there are cameras around, they get switched on, is like a Jekyll and Hyde type situation. And I know that's like an old-timey comment, like someone might come along and be, oh, who's Jekyll? What's Hyde? I'll write it in the information box, but look it up. Like a multiple personality switching type person. Jeez. So it just made me feel a little better about politics, knowing that There's one more person out there that is trying to actually get some work done, and at this point I don't even care like which side you're on, which party you're in. As long as you're in there trying to get some of your damn legislative work done, could you just do it and stop all the hollering about what you don't like and bringing up stuff that's not real, and then wasting everybody's time going to court, and then having the court go, this is nothing, get out of here, you just wasted everybody's time and money. That's not what you're there to do. You have stuff that comes in the door in the form of legislation, and that's what you're there to work on. No one cares about your opinions. I'm going to follow that guy's lead and not name names. So, eve of the big holiday. Ooh, this was the big video. Everyone have a great one. Enjoy spending time with your people. Thank you and good night.